put into it. It's a little bit tougher to measure success. This is one of those situations that you can't necessarily tie their efforts to the actual results. They do claim that drunk driving has dropped, deaths have dropped, all of those kinds of things, but there could be other societal factors that are going on. There could be laws, legal kinds of things that are going on as well. But they also do a pretty good job on their website to talk about some of those impact measures for each of their initiatives. They have a number of different initiatives that they have, and they talk about, well, when young people are exposed to this program, they improve their knowledge of the hazards of binge drinking by X percent. So they do have some of those kinds of measures. I wanted to show you the website for the Century Council. You can click on the Century Council, because I think that it has some relevance to the website for changing the conversation. The website is not really a target audience website. It is more of a decision maker or partner website. They talk about all of their initiatives, and if you wouldn't mind clicking on the materials, get involved where it says materials, to the left, to the left, to the left. Keep going.
Oh, get involved.
Left. Get involved, left.
Middle left.
Yes. They actually have available on this website, if you scroll down a little bit, they have the materials. You can download videos, you can download all of the posters, you can download reports, you can download a tremendous number of things. This is the focal point of the campaign. This is where people come to understand the campaign. When I say people, it's the partners that come to this website to see what is happening and to be able to become partners in all of this. So, okay, I have one more example. And that is Johnson & Johnson Campaign for Nursing's Future. This is a campaign that began in 2002. It speaks to both the pipeline issue, the workforce issue, but also to the concept of corporate social responsibility, because I believe that that's a primary role for Johnson & Johnson in all this. They feel that this is an opportunity for them to give back. It was originally a public-private partnership with Johnson & Johnson, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and leading nursing organizations. But it's very interesting that those other entities are kind of absent from the website. It has become a Johnson & Johnson campaign. I don't know the reasons behind that. I don't know if it's control issues, coordination issues, money issues. There could be a number of different issues that are at play in all of that. It was a $50 million initiative. It started with television advertising. Now it's a little bit more, again, focused toward the website. And there is some sense that it has done some good in terms of increasing applications to nursing schools across the country. They do have two different websites, Discover Nursing and Campaign for Nursing. These are not quite as, you can click on either one, these are not quite as engaging as the Century Council, but it is something that it's a place for people to go to who might be interested. This is more of a target audience website, whereas the Campaign for Nursing is a little bit more for other people who might want to be a part of this. We don't need to see the other one. It looks very similar, except it has a green theme. So. I wanted to also just end with some thoughts on what kinds of things are important for success in coordinated outreach campaigns, and perhaps the impact that, or the role that these things may play for changing the conversation. As I said, the message is critical. And the message has to be the right message. It has to be based on solid evidence, and it has to be relevant to the target audience. I think that's something that you have here. I think a tremendous amount of thought, great research went into coming up with that message. And I think that that is a huge step forward in this whole process. Consistency and frequency, as I said, that is essential in this whole process. You can't have these wonderful messages and then have them be executed in different ways or expressed in different ways. It's not just the intent of the message, it's not just the strategy behind the message, but it's actually the way that those messages are worded. That is extremely important, again, from the target audience standpoint. There needs to be some kind of mechanism for coordination and control. There has to be some way of focusing everybody toward the campaign. And some suggestions for this particular for CTC: rely on opinion leaders and influentials. Use them as ambassadors. That's a way to actually get the message out there. And I think that this campaign has made great strides in this regard. But I think that it's something that really needs to, in the absence of any kind of infrastructure to institute this kind of campaign, rely on the people who are willing to help in this effort. Communicate the benefits. And I think the research that's been done has been great, and I think that people understand the need, people understand the problem for all of this, but I think that you need to communicate the benefits to the stakeholders, You need to communicate to people who may be using this, what is the immediate benefit? And maybe there needs to be a little bit more translation from the big picture benefit to the more immediate benefit. Communicate results. I think results are a great way to communicate those benefits. So once you begin seeing some positive things, it's wonderful to be able to communicate that back so that people have an understanding of how they might be able to benefit from it. And then harness technology. I think that you have the benefit at this point with the website, with social media. There's ways to make these things happen that are much easier than it might have been in the past. The website can truly be, just as with the Century Council, it can truly be the focal point it could be that mechanism for coordinating and controlling this particular situation. I have a little star here. We don't need to click on that, but there's an absolutely wonderful new generic product promotion campaign that just started in October, and it's for baby carrots. Has anybody seen any of the baby carrot materials? It is. I think it's going to be the next Got Milk campaign. Do you want to see anything? Okay, click on the star. It's targeting kids. Oh, it has to be there. Oh no. Then go to the internet and just do www.babycarrots.com. It's targeting young people, and they're positioning, again, just as Got Milk positioned milk in a completely different way, they are positioning baby carrots as junk food. And they have an app here, and if you click, there's an arrow over here, Mary Beth, that can lead you to other parts of the website. Click on that. They have packaging. They're packaging it, and they're competing against Cheetos, which is just wonderful. And they have webisodes. You have to watch some of the webisodes. It's great stuff. You have their own little television, so you can change the channels on that television. This is incredible. But it's play with it because it's just a really pretty. If you want to watch one of the webisodes, they're hilarious. Click on him.
I think we're going to have to kind of come to a close. I'm really sorry.
It is something that I think, if you spend a little bit of time, it's really just great fun. Any questions? Is there anything that I can explain a little bit more on?
If we have one burning question, get it on the table. Yes.
I do have a question. Catherine Gray, when you talked about coordinating outreach campaigns, you listed 6 or 7 different issues: economy, legislative, regulatory. When I look at that list, it appears to me that we might fall into 4 or 5 of those, but when I look at the 4 or 5 that we fall into, it almost seems as though we need a different campaign for each one.
It could very well be, but it's also, that's why it's the planning is essential. Planning up front and prioritizing. And I think to do some of those things, you can't do those without first doing a broader umbrella. You have to establish a brand identity or an identity for the community in general. That will make everything else much easier to do. That makes it easier to deal with those workforce issues. That makes it easier to deal with the legislative issues, with the economic issues. I think that establishing that identity, and I think that's what a lot of those messages begin to do. They're implemented for each one of those purposes, but I think the messages are broad enough. I may disagree, but I think that those messages are broad enough to lay that groundwork, to essentially position the community to do some of those other things.
I really hate to bring this to a